Welcome back to the Gray Radio Entrepreneurs Restaurant Week show. Again, my name is Jeffrey Davis. I'm the host of the show. You know, this guest needs no introduction.
Oh, that's right.
I think he's been on the
He's a
show
legend.
probably 9-10 times.
Roughly.
Family Business Association, litigator,
Mass Restaurant Association.
Mass Restaurant Association, always smiling, always working hard. Who am I talking about? Al DeNapoli of the law firm of Tarlow Breed Hart Rodgers. Welcome, Al.
Great to be here.
Al, you do a lot of work in the restaurant industry. You're the only lawyer we've had on the show all week. Is it a unique business to be in the restaurant business?
It is, and it's a limited group, too. I think most people who do that kind of work know each other, so we see each other on licensing boards and tripping over each other most of the time. So it is a unique area of the law to practice. It has its own rules and regulations, its own procedures, and of course, working in it helps to get to know the people who on the various boards and the clerks you're dealing with. So it is a unique role.
Now, you chair the hospitality practice group in your law firm.
Yes.
Is that different than the other specialty areas within litigation and corporate law?
Again, it is, because the whole procedure of dealing with hospitality, I mean, there's certainly carryover skills that you have as a litigation attorney when you're arguing for certain situations, would be in front of boards, or actually if the board denies or makes a decision that's contrary to where you're going, you can appeal, as we have, to the Superior Court and to the Appeals Court. So I've been in all those forums doing this, so it helps to be a litigation attorney. But again, the areas of practice and what you're dealing with in hospitality are different.
Well, you know, it's funny. I keep running into restaurants that are opening, and they're always scratching their heads, and they're going, it took me 3, 4, 5 months longer to open than I realized, dealing with the state, dealing with the city. And that restaurateurs don't always tend to look at those things up front, correct?
Exactly. And that's, the best clients you can have is to help them with their business plan, to see what they're looking at. And, we always say that if you plan to open a business the first time, can you afford to lose the money you're going to put in? Because so many startups fail, and really the advice of good counsel, I think, is to help them understand that it's much more difficult to do it than it looks like. People have a dream. I can be a great host, but the business part of restaurant operation really is a grind. It's difficult, and people have to go there with their eyes open. So it does take longer.
Your partner is the most prolific reporter on Radio Entrepreneurs. He's done a topic area that I think you've been involved with also, which affects restaurants, and you've been involved with a lot this year in litigation. 1099s.
Yes.
Big issue with restaurants?
Huge issue with restaurants and across the spectrum.
Which, for those who don't realize what a 1099, contractors, correct?
An independent contractor as opposed to an employee. In the old days before the law changed in Massachusetts, back about 10 years ago, the second prong of the test allowed you essentially to have people come in, on a part-time basis that did the same type of work or similar work to you did. But that's not allowed now. If there's someone who works in the same field or service that you do, no matter if you don't control them, they have to be an employee and not an independent contractor. So you see that happening all the time. And the government is going after that because there's, wage issues, there's tax issues involved with that.
And revenue for the state.
And revenue for the state,
which
definitely.
is the most important. But you've been involved with one of the biggest litigations in the state this year, winning against that, correct?
Yeah.
Kind of modest, you guys.
I was representing, outside of the restaurant area, I was representing the taxi industry in Boston in one of the cases, together with 2 other attorneys, also representing other taxi medallion owners, where certain taxi drivers were seeking to have, instead of being deemed independent contractors, to say that they were employees, and therefore they were entitled to overtime, to benefits, back wages, and this was going to be a dramatic change to the whole industry and the way it operated. It
would have closed down taxi companies, wouldn't it?
Well, it would have changed it, certainly. It would have closed down those who would have to pay the damages, I'd say, that the plaintiffs were seeking. And it went through the Superior Court all the way up to the Supreme Judicial Court. And Supreme Judicial Court, we argued, and the Supreme Judicial Court found that
You argued the case, didn't
I
you?
did argue it, together with another attorney, and the court found unanimously in our favor that these taxi drivers were independent contractors based upon a number of things.
Al, if somebody else wants to stay out of landmines and guide them through business, how do they find you?
They can find me at Tarlow Breed Hart Rodgers. My telephone number, if I may, is 617-218-2024, and our website is tbhr-law.com.